All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dowell, and I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. It seems to be that no matter where we go in the United States of America, that all of our liberties, perceived liberties, civil liberties, and freedoms are being eroded from us at every hand, no matter what we do. It seems like that we're being censored and regulated in a country that is so-called living by the slogan, home of the free and land of the brave, or land of the brave and home of the free, whichever way you want to say it. But the one thing about it is you can tell that we're moving from this so-called freedom movement in this country to a very communistic, socialist type movement to where we don't exercise freedom of speech anymore. But you know, it's amazing. I don't know much about Dynasty, but I am in total support of freedom of speech, of him being able to express his opinion. But we have a different sentiment. We have a different viewpoint in the society in which we find ourselves living in today, where everything about so-called social morality is being eroded at every end. I mean, totally decimated in this country. But I'm in support of Duck Dynasty, even though I never saw one episode of the show. But I read some of the articles on Yahoo News and some other business places on YouTube and other news networks. And I wanted to actually go to see what this man's crime was. What's amazing to me is that we have particular movements out here in the country nowadays, and you already know what they are. And I am amazed at the people who seem to be so-called tolerant. You know, well, let me put it like this. These people are totally intolerant of your perspective and viewpoints, while they want you to be totally tolerant of theirs. And it seems like that not only with our House, the Congress, the House, the Senate, the President of the United States, everybody wants us to bow down and actually give place to all these people who are seemingly or wanting to or forcing change in the country that we're living in. But those of us who decide to hold on the old paths, the old ways, morals, and what we call values and morality in this country, all of a sudden, now we're the criminals, and now we're the demons. It is utterly amazing how we are watching the erosion of our society, the spiritual bankruptcy, the moral degradation. It's utterly appalling and amazing. It is also amazing to sit and watch the so-called people that are now lawmakers making all these changes in the law. Now, you don't get me wrong. I believe everybody has a right to say whatever they want to say. You just have to be willing to put up with the consequences of what you say. Just because you say something doesn't mean it's right. But here in this country, we value opinions, especially those who are people of low estate and low morals and a low mindset and a low demeanor. But anytime somebody else stands up and tries to give an alternate perspective or viewpoint about something, the first thing we want to do is start kicking against those who have opinions different from our own. Is that really truly a society that is called, where we are called to have freedom of speech, so-called liberty to be able to express and say what we want to say? And that's like in this country, you know, I will fight to defend everybody's right in this land, as long as what you do don't infringe upon me as a human being. That is the way that things should be done. Is that as long as what you do doesn't cause me any hurt, harm, or danger. Now, you can say all the words because people, they use the exercise freedom of speech against me all the time. Go on YouTube and look at all the people that are speaking negative and derogatory against me, who are inflamed, you know, who are definitely doing whatever they can to assassinate my character. Even though they don't know me as a people, then there are people who know me and they got mad because somebody else got mad at them, and then they chose to get mad at me because somebody else is mad at them. I call that spiritually retarded. But hey, people have a right. They breathing, they living, they moving to do whatever they want. But again, that doesn't mean because somebody has a right to have freedom of speech or to say what they want to say that you have to actually invite these people and keep these people into your lives. What you need to do is exercise your freedom to remove people out of your lives that have no right whatsoever at all by your particular judgment to be in your life whatsoever at all. And that's just a fact. But, you know, we need to actually get back to, because, you know me, I'm a pastor, so I believe we need to get back to the old paths, the old landmarks, And that's how we're going to establish what we call true justice and righteousness. But anyway, while we may have freedom of speech and freedom of to say what we want to say and comment the way we want to comment in this country, we don't actually possess that if we're looking at that from a biblical viewpoint. As a matter of fact, a fool utter all his mind. And that's just wisdom. And the tongue is an unruly evil, and it is full of deadly poison. And nobody can tame the tongue. We can tame beasts. We can tame animals. We can, man can do all type of extraordinary things and all many different types of exploits. But the one thing man cannot do is tame his tongue. But, it's amazing how we have a sentiment that is intolerant of our personal views, but they expect us to be tolerant of them. So I hear that AME or AME or whatever the news channel is going to actually reinstate the Ducks Dynasty heads back to the show. And I think it's a good muscle move on their behalf right there, simply because they stood their ground. They didn't succumb, and they didn't kowtow under, and they didn't crack under the pressure that the media, as well as the people, the lawmakers in this country who keeps trying to make these sentiments a change for us in this world, they didn't crack under pressure. They were willing to let it all go in order to suffer loss so they could continue to keep their sanity, the integrity of their heart. And so they ought to be commended. And I want to say that I am in full support of Duck Dynasty, even though I've never watched one episode. Matter of fact, I think I actually go buy the videos and go watch an episode since I don't have a TV signal. You have a good day.